Hello, parents. I'm very much hoping that after this presentation that I'm able to answer any of the questions you might have about this upcoming school year that we're about to embark on. I know things are going to be real different, and we really all don't know what to expect. I'm feeling like we're pretty well prepared, but this is going to be a lot of new things for all of us, and it will be quite a bit different than last spring. So bear with us a little bit, and please email me any questions that you might have. First, I'd like to share with you a video from Dr. Sagan and Mrs. Fry.
Hi, good evening, Blackwell parents. We are very thankful that you could join us for our virtual curriculum night. Hopefully at the end of this, you'll have a little bit more information about what the building will do to kick off the year, as well as your classroom teachers. I wanted to start off by introducing myself. I'm Jillian Sagan. I'm the principal here at Blackwell. This is my 5th year here at Blackwell. Previous to coming to Blackwell, I was a special services teacher over at Lincoln Prairie, and then I was the assistant principal and principal at Lincoln Junior High. These are just some pictures of my family. My husband and I live downtown with our 2 golden doodles. They did just come out of the lake. They're not always that curly. And then during quarantine, I've had a little bit extra time, and I decided to pick up golf. My husband is a huge golfer, so that is us getting out there, my husband and my father, really enjoying it. It's a very hard sport, but I'm willing to commit to that, and I've been thankful for the opportunity to have a little bit more time. Hi, I'm Stephanie Fry, and I'm the assistant principal here at Blackwell. This will be my 2nd year at Blackwell. Previously, I was a primary teacher at Armstrong Elementary School, and then I moved to Australia for a few years and got the opportunity to teach there. When I returned, I was an intermediate teacher at Dooley Elementary School before joining Blackwell. A little bit about myself outside of school. My husband and I live in the city with our 2 dogs. We have 2 little Cavaliers. And then the middle picture is our family at Disney World a couple of years ago with all of the nieces and nephews. So love spending time with them and traveling with them. And if anyone wants to talk about Disney, she's been there about not 5 times, about 50 times. And so she's the person to talk to if that's something that you like to do. Our big thing this year is going to be making sure that we build our connections with our students and with our families. Our theme this year is Bobcats Bring the Greatness, Let's Pass It On. So we're going to be focusing on the unique qualities that we each have that are our strengths, as well as the ones that we want to continue to grow, and then work to see how we can build those up and pass those on to our classmates in our community. One way that we're going to start with those connections is the first 21 days of school. We're going to be pushing out very simple challenges that your family can participate in. And we're going to be posting those on Padlet using either a phrase or a picture. But again, just a nice way to build that connection between the class and across the entire building. Another way teachers are going to help students build connections is through daily SEL lessons. So the teachers will start the year with 15 days of social emotional learning that are going to have activities to help the kids build those relationships. Another thing that we're going to do and be on the lookout for a whole building scavenger hunt. So some of your students participated in that in the spring, and we're going to be bringing that back. Again, just a fun way to engage with the building and engage with each other. So information will be coming out around Labor Day with that. And since we're going to be doing all of these fun activities to connect between students and families and our staff, various videos will come out throughout the start of the school year. So be on the lookout for those video links. And then we value building a strong culture here and one that feels like a really tight community. And so we also love our student recognitions, and the ways that we've done that in the past are through stencils and Student of the Month. Even though we aren't going to be together, those are things that we would like to continue. So there'll be things that happen here in the building, and we push those recognitions out to your families so you will know if your child is going to be receiving a stencil each week or Student of the Month award. We are going to continue with our morning announcements. It's a great way to start our day. Gives you guys an idea of some of the things that are upcoming and some of the schedule updates that are going to happen for our kids. And we also will be providing information about our virtual clubs, because we are going to continue offering clubs just in a little bit of a different format for this school year. We are going to be pushing out a lot of information to you guys. Every Friday in years past, and the same for this year, I have a community memo. So that has building information updates, district updates, PTA updates, and information like those virtual clubs will come out in that memo. So those have already begun. So if you have not received a Friday memo from myself, please make sure to contact our main office to make sure that you're on that mailing list. Because again, those are things that you can print out, put on your fridge, and make sure that you have all of the important information for Blackwell in the district.
Another way to keep connecting with Blackwell is through our social media accounts. In addition to teachers and classrooms having their own accounts, Blackwell has theirs as well. So you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter to see all of the cool happenings here at Blackwell.
Our office is officially open. Our secretaries, Ms. Claudio and Ms. Newman, are back in action here in the office. Hours are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if there's anything that you need or want to run something past them, please feel free to give them a call. Their information, as well as all of the staff information, can be found on the Blackwell website. So you'll have this presentation at a later date to go back and reference, but know that you can always check our Blackwell webpage, and that will give you information that's in my memos, how to contact staff, and any just kind of hot tips about the district of Blackwell.
Also, if you ever need to connect with Dr. Sagan or myself, you can call us on those phone numbers or send us an email. In addition, you can also always call the office and just ask to speak with us.
So we are excited for a great year. Again, not how we would typically like to start the year, but we have a lot of our traditions that we have in place for in-person. We are going to be continuing those virtually, and we hope that one day soon we can have our kids back in the building. But until then, always know that you can reach out to us with any questions, any comments, any concerns. We hope that you have a little bit of information about what the start of the school year is going to look like for us here at Blackwell. But now we're going to turn it over to your classroom teacher so you can find out a little bit more about your child's day and a little bit more about your classroom teacher. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Bye.
So now that you found out a little bit about Dr. Sagan and Mrs. Fry, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. And I've been sending out some ideas just so that your children have a little bit of an idea who I am. I've been in this district for about 16 years now, and this is my 38th year teaching, if you can believe that. I kind of feel like I started yesterday, and I still love my job as much as I always have. These are some pictures of me and my family. Like many people during COVID, I got back into some old hobbies. One of mine was bread baking. I actually did bread baking before all of this got going. I did have a girlfriend, though, who gave me a sourdough starter, so I was doing the trendy sourdough thing. But the good news is when you make sourdough bread, then you have leftover starter, which also makes good pizza. My husband, who's in the center, has told me that I now have to stop making bread because he has put on about 5 pounds since I started making bread again. My son on the right side of your screen is Ian, and he is actually home from college. He was supposed to start his junior year at Grand Valley State University, and with all of the kind of crazy COVID stuff, he decided rather than sitting in his dorm room taking classes by himself, that he would take a year off and maybe make some money. So things that we like to do as a family, I have mentioned to you, I have a really crazy hobby. I do actually drive race cars. In fact, this weekend is going to be my first race with this very old 20-year-old Miata that I have with 3 friends of mine. And we are going to be doing an endurance race. So I'll be racing 8 hours one day and 7 hours the next day. So I'm real excited about that. Other things that we do, we're pretty much a quiet family. We read a lot, and we've really gotten into board games with COVID. Games that we've really been enjoying are Catan, a new game for us, Ticket to Ride, and then we found a Sherlock Holmes mystery solving game. But it's let us spend some more time together as a family. So I would say that that's been kind of a benefit of all this craziness and staying home. Other people that your children will be interacting with are our same support staff as last year. Mrs. Hewell will still be doing music, Mrs. Gluskin for art, Mr. Navis for PE, and Mr. Navis, by the way, is due to have a new baby on first week of September, so we'll be looking for that. Mrs. Busick will still be heading up the library, and Mrs. Dalton will still be teaching our sign language classes. I will be pushing out that link. They've got a lot of information about how they're going to be running art, music, PE, and sign language this fall, and it's going to be different than it was last year. They've put together a real cute presentation, of course, having Mrs. Gluskin is part of your team to design the slides. Definitely makes your slides extra special. So be looking for that YouTube video as well. Our special schedule was going to be just like regular school: PE, music, art, music PE, sign language, and library on Friday. And we'll stay consistent with this schedule. Many of you have been asking about instruments. We are still doing instrumental lessons, and they're going to start towards the end of August. You'll be getting some more information coming out with that from the band and orchestra teachers. The kids will actually have time to get on and do some actual Zoom lessons live with these teachers. Dr. Sagan mentioned a lot about how our real big goal this year is to connect and engage your kids. When we started all of this last spring, it felt like we were just jumping off a cliff. Nobody really knew what was the best way to approach this. We didn't know exactly what we needed to focus on for teaching and instruction, and the district has really done an excellent job this summer, really mapping out what we need to do and how we need to do it so this would be effective if we needed to stay home, and sure enough, we're staying home. Things that are going to be different from last year. Because the district has put together a lot of the lessons for us and we just need to tweak them and make them our own, it leaves the teachers much more time to be able to do in-face teaching. So your child's going to be on with me quite a bit during the day, like most of the day. You can plan on definitely a full 5 hours of school, just like we always would have. We're going to be splitting up for small groups for reading and small groups for writing and small groups for math, and for kids who need acceleration, either to be pushed really hard or to really get some extra support. We're going to have small groups for that too, just like we always have. This is real school. We are starting the day at 8:40. I'm going to post the link for the kids so that they can get into their own Zoom meeting starting at 8:30, but they need to be ready to go for me at 8:40 in the morning, just like they would be walking into my classroom. Also, as Dr. Sagan said, we are going to be focusing on social emotional learning. My biggest goal for your kids and for me is to really get to know them the way I would if they were in-house with me. And I want them to have the chance to interact with their peers like they would if they were here with me. Teachers don't stand up in the front of the room and talk to children all day long. We do some instruction and then we break them into small groups to work with each other and to collaborate and to practice those skills. And because we get to use Zoom with the kids this year, I can still break kids now up into groups, and they can work with their peers on tasks that I assign them. And I'll be able to bounce back and forth between those groups, so they'll never know when I'm going to pop in, just like it would be if they were in my classroom working with their small groups. So I'm really looking forward to being able to use Zoom as a new tool. Attendance really does matter. I need your kids here with me, and I'm going to help you with that, and I'm going to ask you to help me with that too. I'm going to be checking in my classes throughout the day, seeing who's with me, who I've lost. And if there's a problem, I'm going to be reaching out to them. If one of your kids is having a problem with their computer or with the internet, I want to be able to help them troubleshoot and problem solve. If your child has just decided maybe they're sleeping in, I'm going to contact you and let you know that we've got an issue. And so you and I can work together on that. If for some reason your child needs to be gone, either they're sick or they've got an appointment, please call the office just like we do with regular school and let them know that when your child will be out, so that I know that they're okay and that you know that they're not with me. We're going to pretty much be following our regular schedule. We'll be starting off with class meetings, and then we'll be splitting up into math groups. We will do a shared reading lesson where they will be probably watching videos on that, sometimes me, sometimes conversations, but then they're going to be breaking into small groups with me for guided reading where we can work on exactly their level. We'll do Lit Excel, which again, the kids will be mixing up across the grade level then to get even more support with their reading and their writing. I want your kids to take a good 45-minute lunch break. I'm going to encourage them heavily to go outside, get away from their computer screens, take a break from that. I know I've been starting to take walks at lunchtime, and I'm hoping that they will do something like that too, just so that we can get away from the screens a little bit. I'm real happy this year that we've got a built-in time for reading aloud novels. I love sharing good books with kids. And I love connecting kids with good books to read. So I'm happy that we've got that time set aside. Then the afternoon will be our time for specials and for science, social studies, and writing. This year, we've got some other teachers assigned to us, and I couldn't have picked a better team. We will have Mrs. Anders working with our gifted students. She will also be pulling other groups for guided reading and helping out accelerating in math. We have Ms. Sass, who's going to be one of our English language resource teachers. She will also be pulling groups across the different classrooms for math and for reading and for writing, as well as Mrs. Espindola, who will also be helping out with our guided reading and our Lit Excel. And Mrs. Espindola got married this summer, so you might mention that to her when you see her. Support, again, that we get from these people will be just like it was here. Your kids will be assigned to different groups for reading and for math, and they will break off into small groups and work with those teachers. Some of what they're going to be doing will be live. Then they might be assigned a project or certain readings that they need to be doing independently. To help the kids, this is what they're going to see. They'll start off with a slide that will welcome to the class for the day. And then I want to have a slide that looks like this. And what I'm going to do for them is to break down what we're going to be doing throughout the day, what materials they'll need to have on hand. Do they need to have their textbook? Do they need to have colored pencils? Do they need to have their slates and markers? And then I'm going to have a column here for what they need to turn in to me, just to kind of help them check off, did I do all of the assignments that Ms. Fowler needs to see? The other thing that I want to do is I'm going to start color coding these for the kids. If they're yellow, that would be a slide that they need to look through the slide, look through the information that's on there and respond to it, versus the green time periods, which will be times where they need to come onto a Zoom meeting with me and learn about what we're going to be doing that day. And I'm going to be teaching them all these routines and structures. Some parents were asking if it would be possible to get a copy of this slide. I'm going to see how that works. I'm going to try taking a screenshot of this and then sending that out via email to parents, and we'll see if that's working for people. I know you all needed some sort of way to be able to see what your child is supposed to be doing so that you can have conversations about, yes, did those things actually happen? In Dr. Sagan's presentation, she mentioned the 21-day challenge. This is a family activity for the evenings. The district has been bringing in a guest speaker. His name is John O'Leary, and he's a motivational speaker, really interesting man, and focuses on really trying to live your life in awe like you're a kid, noticing things that are around you and being grateful for the things that are around you instead of just rushing through your day. So what we've done is put together a 21-day activity for the evenings for families to do. Things that will help you connect with your kids, help you talk about things that have been going on in your lives, and just kind of have a little bit of fun. I'm going to try doing this with my family as well, and we'll start that off that first week of school. I'll send you an email about this and what each one of those daily activities is, and I will also include that in your child's slide so they'll know what's going on with that too. I do have a favor to ask each of you. If your child has not already done so before Monday morning, I really need them to watch the video that I sent them about how to use Zoom. That was something that there's a little different way that kids log in to become part of the District 54 Zoom. So I would really like them to look through that short tutorial about how to log in and make sure that they have access to that. I sent them an email on that Wednesday, so that should be in their email. If you have any other questions that I didn't answer in this presentation, please either email me or give me a phone call. I'd be happy to talk through any questions you might have. I'm really looking forward to this year. I know it's not what we were hoping for, but we're going to find ways to make this work. And as long as we're all working together, I'm thinking we're going to have a really good year.